Mercury retrograde. It happens 3, sometimes 4 times every single year. And the advice is always the same. Watch out for technology and communication issues and mix-ups, as well as revise, rethink, redo, all the re words. And I 100% agree with that advice. However, I do believe there's a very important element that's missing. As a naturopath, as a nutritionist, as a herbal medicine practitioner, and as a human design analyst, I believe there is one thing most people do not talk about when it comes to Mercury retrograde, and that is that it can also affect your body. It can make you feel a bit blah in particular ways. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what they are. So, how can Mercury retrograde affect your body? Well, I found there are 2 main ways. The first way is your cognitive function, your brain power. Now, in the majority of cases, some people find that their brain power is on like supercharge and that they're just like firing on all cylinders in their brain. And those people I find generally were born during Mercury retrograde. So their brain goes, haha, this is my time to shine, let's go. But most of the time I find it's the opposite. I find that people's brain power, it might just shift slightly down a gear a little bit. There might be a little bit more brain fog. There may be, your memory might be not as strong as usual, and just overall mental clarity, it might not be there in the way that it usually is. And if that happens, that's okay. Don't be too hard on yourself. Okay, now the second way that I find that Mercury retrograde can affect our body is actually the main way that I notice as a naturopath, as a human design analyst. And this is your digestion. Why is that? Well, all information that we process through our brain, it affects how we digest information physically. Therefore, if we're struggling to digest information on a mental perspective, from a mental perspective, if we're finding that we're reviewing something that our brain is going over and over and over again with information, that can affect your physical digestion. It can be churning and churning and churning, and your digestion can change. So what I find often happens during Mercury retrograde is that people have more gut issues. They may become a little bit more bloated. They might have more flatulence. They might have more reflux. There might even be mystery stomach pains that you're like, whoa, where did that come from? I do not get what this is all. And it's actually, I just maybe even feel a bit nauseous. It may be something that you can't explain from a physical perspective during the Mercury retrograde. And if that's the case, well, it is very possible that it's actually coming from a higher energy, possibly an off-planet energy, because you are energy. The energetics coming down from Mercury onto this planet are absolutely affecting how your cells act in this world. You may even find that foods that you can tolerate, things that you can do with your diet, and maybe you just get away with it. You're like, oh, yeah, I know that if I have this too much that it's like going to throw me out. You might find that your tolerance level is a little bit lower during this time. So just your ability to digest foods in general, it can be impacted during Mercury retrograde. So who's more susceptible to feeling the Mercury retrograde in their body? Well, there are 3 groups of people from an astrological perspective. The first group is anyone with strong Virgo, and the second group is anyone with strong Gemini in their chart. The reason is both Virgo and Gemini are ruled by Mercury. So they're the first in line to feel it when the planet goes retrograde. The third group of people is anyone with strong placements in the sign where Mercury is retrograding. So right now, Mercury is retrograding through Capricorn. Therefore, anyone with strong Capricorn placements is more vulnerable to feel the effects of Mercury retrograde in their body as well. So, as you can imagine, anyone with a combination of the Mercury retrograding in their Virgo, Gemini, and Capricorn, if you've got multiple of those, well, you want to be especially aware and more patient with yourself and with the outside world at this time. Now, also from a human design perspective, we want to know that Mercury travels through multiple gates as it's retrograding. So people who have these gates and the pair of that gate that Mercury is retrograding through, they're also more vulnerable to be feeling the shifts as it moves through the gates. Now, this is very personal for me because I have very strong Virgo in my chart. I'm a Virgo sun and I have a stellium of Virgo in my 12th house. And my husband just happens to be a Gemini. So we've got the Virgo and the Gemini Mercury ruled energy in our house. And I also have strong Capricorn because my Capricorn is, my moon is in Capricorn. So right now, those three placements that I just spoke about, yeah, I'm feeling what it means for Mercury retrograde to impact us on a technological level. It's impacting my computer, it's impacting my internet, it's impacted my car. I've had major electrical issues in my car. I've even had really unusual symptoms in my digestive system, and my gut health is usually pretty strong because I'm pretty onto it as a nutritionist. But at this point in time, it's just like my body's going, look, there's just too much energy coming in off planet. You've just got to process what's going on here. And all I can do is let go of control and go, okay, well, this too shall pass. So what can you do if Mercury retrograde is affecting your body? Well, there are a few things. The first thing is just to be patient. This will only last a few weeks, and stressing about it and pushing against the discomfort that you're feeling will only make it worse. Okay? Now, what I've noticed is that the symptoms that people feel, whether it be cognitive or digestive, they're usually more pronounced as Mercury slows down and stations to go retrograde, and then as it slows down and stations to go direct again. So as Mercury is doing its retrograde thing in the middle, I find that a lot of people's bodies seem to regulate to what's going on, but it's really that transition phase that people can be most vulnerable to. It can be the entire time, depending upon what's going on, especially if there's things you're struggling to process from a mental perspective, then it may impact you the entire time. But it's often just those transition times. So make note of that. As Mercury is retrograding, if it is strongly affecting your sign, if it is strongly affecting the gates that you have in your human design chart, then it is very important for you to stay on top of your diet, okay, and get excellent sleep, excellent quality sleep. So eat as healthy a diet as you can. If you have any food sensitivities, just push them aside. Don't push aside sensitivity, but push aside those foods and maybe be just a little bit more vigilant to cut them out of your diet while Mercury is retrograding, doing its thing, because you may be a little bit more vulnerable at that time. You don't want to put any more ingredients in the mix that may make you feel any more uncomfortable. Of course, drink plenty of water during Mercury retrograde as well, just to make sure things are flowing and functioning well and that your cells are getting the nutrients that they need. Now, on that note, with your diet, you want to make sure that you're getting plenty of enzymes from your food, because enzymes help to digest other foods. So 3 excellent ones to consider during this time are, this is fresh pawpaw, so many amazing digestive enzymes, okay? Same with pineapple, so many amazing digestive enzymes, and kiwi fruit. All of those can help you digest your food, and if you eat meat, if you cook the meat with a piece of pineapple or pawpaw on top of it, it can help break down those proteins so that you digest the food after it's cooked even better. But of course, just having the fruit on its own, having it before you eat your meal, or including it in a salad, very useful as well. Now, the other piece of advice for you that can support your body as you are moving through the Mercury retrograde phase, if you're susceptible, is to drink herbal teas that are made from the herbs that are directly connected to Mercury. Yes, that is a thing. Now, these herbs are cinnamon, dill, lavender, licorice, yum. Oh, and by the way, I'm talking about licorice the herb, not licorice the lolly. Marjoram, mullein, star anise, and thyme. So if you were able to make a pot of these teas and sip on them throughout the day, maybe have a couple of cups, or have a big teapot made. Particularly having it around you during this Mercury retrograde time can be very supportive for you from an energetic perspective and from a physical perspective as well. Now, of course, I can't guarantee this will make the communication in your world any better or make the technology that you're using work any better. But who knows? It might align with... Would you believe that Mercury retrograde has struck while I was filming this video? I'm so sorry that whatever I was just saying got cut off because the camera did not capture it for some reason. Oh no, not some reason, Mercury retrograde. Thank you. Proving a point. All right, so maybe it was positive. Oh, my friends, if you have got any value from this video at all, I would adore it if you could please click the like button, the thumbs up, maybe even subscribe, maybe even share the video with someone that you care about. I appreciate all the love and support that you send my way, and I return the love with virtual hugs being sent to you. In the meantime, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.